Alright, did some more today. As you can see here, there's fuel in the bulb. And I did weed eat with it. I'm sure you could see that. Brought some fuel over. Anyway, it's a two-stroke. I put some, what is that, two-cycle? Yeah, some of this stuff. And I used one of these things that I got from a while ago and just put it to the 50-to-1 at 1 gallon. You don't really need a lot of gas for these things. And I just ran a little test drive with it over here. This was getting a little too high. I must really like the evening shade that we're getting here. Anyway, and then I did a little bit over here. And then I picked up that clay pot that was down there. It wasn't clay though, it was plastic. And then I weed eated these steps. So there's still a couple of sticks that are leaning. But from when we first started, this is much better. And then I went through, picked up that gallon plastic green lid that was over here and moved some stones and some wood out of the way. That's cool. All the flowers are kind of in their death throes. We were at 77 degrees today. These daffodils doing well. These were the late ones. Curious to see what these long green things become, if anything. And I picked up some more sticks. Oh, there's some plastic. I'll get rid of that. There was a bunch of cardboard and plastic along here. I'm not sure why. Just, it's like probably one of those dirt bags or something for fancy stuff. There's a rock. Get that out of the way. Then picked up some more branches. So starting to look better. Need to bring a rake in here. That'll be an all-day thing. Picked up some more of the garbage that was over here. I don't know if you remember, there was a plastic bag over here. Just tossed a couple of the rocks up here that were around on this side. Dragged the poison water or whatever that is. Put a bunch of this metal stuff up here and some wood. And then I found some cool stuff over here. Gardening related, I'll go show you that. Looks like I have some more plastic to get. And there's a bunch of plastic under here, which I still need to get. I haven't looked into any of the chicken coops yet. I imagine one of these is like a rabbit hutch or something. I suppose we could do that now. No, I don't feel like fussing with it. It's got a hook over there. Yeah, that's the door for them to come out. And you're like, oh, why aren't you working on the house? Well, yeah, I am. I'm just, what I've decided is that on nice days, when I can work outside, I'm going to work outside. And on the rainy days, and I can still come out here and work on the inside. So, there was also like a green carpety thing in here that I pulled out of the dirt. I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, it's too far down in there, I think. Yeah. Anyway, that bag was from today. That was all stuff I pulled out from outside. Yeah. I'm gonna try and get that carpet the next time I come out. But then I also pulled all the, this is the trees that were in there and a little bit more. I pulled them out. And as I was pulling them out, I found stuff on these trees that wasn't blooming. So you can actually see pretty nicely here. getting better. I mean, this one still has live growth on it, so when I know what this is, then I'll worry about dealing with it. It's in the way, but not enough. Anyway, so I did come across another thing over here by the water meter, or this is where the city water comes in, but I noticed that there's some thorns on some of these. That's not really a thorn, but where was it? Oh yeah, here. This is a thorn. And I gotta get used to filming on the side. Anyway, and these don't have any buds on them yet, and they might be a late bloomer or something. So I didn't trim it all away. I just went until I noticed thorns. So there's probably something in here that's not normal. I don't know, maybe those are just new growths or something, and maybe that's how it starts for the year. And then turns into a branch. I'm not sure. Not really my specialty, these things. So, if you're a tree person, then too bad. You just have to yell at me in the comments or something, and I'll take with it what I want. So I did that. It was 77 degrees here today. I was feeling pretty tired after doing that little bit of weed eating. But I also came from my full-time job, waking up at 3:30 in the morning, working 8 hours, and then coming here. I was thinking before I go I might do some cardboard and stuff, but let's see, what time is it now? I'm not even sure. 5:44 p.m. I could probably get away. Anyway, they made it through winter and they weren't really in soil per se, but I mean, there's all kinds of things in here. There's some plant food spikes. I can't imagine those have anything left in them because of the temperature changes. They probably are ruined or chemically changed to where they're not properly functional. Some of these jiffy pots. Yeah, anyway, there's a bunch of seeds in here. What is this? Peat fill. Yeah. Coconut core. Seed starter thingies. I might try and use them. I don't know if I'm going to use these. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty neat, just laying in the ground outside. They're cheap tools, but somebody was doing gardening here before. And I'm just trying to decide where I want to garden in the first place. Maybe I'll do it after all the trees have been kind of shaped down, or the dead stuff is cut off and I see where all the sunlight is. But I would imagine up there on the ridge of the property where the blackberry bushes are, there's steps that go up. There's nothing blocking that from the sun except trees. So I may be able to put some garden vegetables up there. Otherwise, if those trees are just useless, even though it looks like they're not because of the placement, I could probably do a garden in there, and that would be plenty of gardening space for me. So anyway, well, just some thoughts, and yeah, I guess I'll give this carpet a go, and if it comes up, then it comes up, and if it doesn't, then oh well. So looks like it might, but then again, it looks like it might not, because it kind of looks like it's buried under some gravel and some moss and stuff. So This might be like a root barrier or a weed barrier, something like that. It's pretty stiff. Sun cake for sure. So maybe the ticket would be to cut it. But it looks like the idea was to prevent weeds from coming up in here. And that's just my guesstimation, but I'm gonna think on that, actually. Maybe we'll see what I want to do. So anyway, I guess that's it. I'll go do some cardboard. You don't really need to see the end result of that. It's just cardboard. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right, here's your bonus snippet. I moved all those garbage bags over here, and I broke down all that cardboard. So either I save this for the end of the month if I order a trash container, if I can guarantee that I can get enough gutting done before then so I have enough stuff to throw in, or I'll just start loading it and taking it to the dump so it doesn't overpile and become unbearable. As you know, we've still got all this junk. Like, some of this is salvageable, but a lot of it I don't want. And especially the rinky-dink furniture stuff. Even if I were to restore on something, it would be these chairs. And that's probably the extent of it. I could probably restore that one. However, with the cloth there, I would probably remove the cloth because I don't feel like dealing with the sponge and the bugs and whatever is decided to move in. And metal, obviously, can be taken to somewhere for metal scrap if it's not worth keeping. You know, all this cardboard's got to go. The bags, obviously. But that's like, all that stuff is just from just 2 rooms. And a lot of this garbage I've already moved. And this is from outside now. This is from inside. So it's getting to the point where either I want the garbage disposal bin here, or I'll wait until I know more of what's garbage and what's not. So, I don't like the gas can being under plastic. I don't feel like developing a static charge. Even though there's probably no fuel in it, the fumes is probably worse if there are fumes. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.